Okay, welcome back, folks. Wisdom on Tap. Mr. Dave Watson's back with us today, again, in the same day, on his four-part special after your wonderful story last week. I take it we are on. Yeah. Mark's always telling me off. Yeah. I love it. We've delved into your story. I've got something real specific I want to go into today, which is mental health. And what's that look for? And possibly why it's, I wouldn't say I'm being inaccurate when I say, oh God, anytime Mark moves, I feel like I'm in trouble.
I'm not even
he looks
looking.
like he's in the slips there.
I'm not even looking. I just face forwards.
You're too scared to look. You're like, I can't move off this microphone.
I'm here, exactly like this.
Mark's told me not to move.
I'll give him a side glance.
You look like Action Man then.
Action Man.
Eagle Eye. I had the Action Man Eagle Eye. Did any of you have the Action Man Eagle Eye? Where you could slide his eyes and he'd be like...
Animal, yeah.
Kids don't know they're flipping born these days. Imagine that being like the perk of the Action Man.
I used to have all the Star Wars stuff, mate. I had all the original.
Oh, do you know what my mum would say about that now?
God, it'd be worth some money,
That'd be worth some money, that would. It was in the boxes.
Yeah. I had the lot.
Where is it?
I think a lot of it got burnt. My mum's house burnt down when I was, crikey, like 26, 27.
Crazy.
So all went, everything.
So,
yeah.
Back to mental health.
Yeah, man.
I don't think it's inaccurate for me to say that statistically, it seems to be getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm interested in why you think that is. I'm just coming straight out of a question.
Yeah, buddy.
And I'll give you some context. I put a post up this morning on Facebook, which people are commenting on, saying, why is mental health spiraling out of control? I'm passionate about mental health. I would divide that up to add some context again. Like, I wouldn't say I necessarily deal in mental health,
right,
but everything we do in our coaching, our communities, is all going to improve somebody's mental well-being.
Yeah.
Somebody's actually put this on the post, and I believe this as well, and I've spoke about this previously. I think there's a big difference between mental health and mental illness. If I'm looking at my own definitions, mental illness can be very different to mental health.
Yeah.
A bit like physical illness could be different to physical health, possibly, I don't know. But I'm going to differentiate them too.
Yeah.
And so they would say mental health, statistically, I've read a few reports, because every year, who is it? Oh God, is it? There's a UK organisation that released a big report. Anyway, and it's getting worse. So from somebody who's had many a trouble and many a battle with your own mental health,
yeah,
what do you think are some of the contributing factors in poor mental health?
Just general life skills. So what you learn when you're younger, I think that's a huge impact.
In what way? Go on, elaborate.
Because if you don't know, you don't know.
What?
How to feel, how to feel emotions, if there's such a thing as normality, you see. So, for instance, when I got with my wife, they had a normal family. It's like, they had the house, they had the two parents, the job, just what you see in the movies. It's just like a normal family, where I've come from this fucking mess, So I think
the word's dysfunctional.
Dysfunctional, yeah.
Yeah.
Dysfunctional, that's a good word. Dysfunctional. So I think a lot of it's learning, what you learn. It's lack of skills, lack of knowledge. Because if you don't know, you don't know. And I think mental health is different to mental illness, you're right, but it can lead to mental illness if it's continuous and it doesn't get addressed.
Yeah. What were the biggest struggles? Because I think I said last few episodes of Mark Ellis, I Googled what are the top search terms in self-help.
Yeah.
And I wish I could remember what I Googled now. but it was along the lines of how to deal with stress, how to get calm, what is self-care.
Yeah.
Overwhelm was another.
Yeah.
Which are common things, right?
Yeah, but I think a lot of them terms are only, I'd say recently, I didn't know about overwhelm and self-care and shit like that back in the day. Do you know what I mean? I didn't, so I think a lot of that's come out over the last few years, but yeah, I think stress, people don't know how to deal with stress. and how they feel they should look at things like that. Shouldn't be stressed. Why should I be stressed? You know, I've got X, Y, and Z. I don't know. I think there's such a broad. It's massive.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no one reason. That's why it's a silly question in a sense. What's the main cause of mental health issues? If we were to look at you personally, say, if you don't mind me looking at you personally, then you could say a huge contributing factor to your early issues would have been the things you were exposed to at a young age.
Yeah. Environment.
So your environment.
Yeah. 100%.
The people around you.
Yep. Things I've seen. Again, you don't know what's normal, do you? But even then, I didn't think it was normal. I just thought it was a bit fucking odd, isn't it?
Well, we've just been for a coffee, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we were talking about parenting and stuff like that, which we're going to get into another episode, but and different things about, it's amazing how you can watch kids morph in to you. You can see it, can't you? You can say, oh my God, you're picking up. I think Mark touched on how he can see elements of his, dad and elements of his mum. It's like, oh, I've got this and this and this.
Yeah.
And the kids are kind of little sponges, and then you got the experiences that happen to us when we're quite formative from outside of us, that they all affect us. They all become part of almost who we are, how we operate. So that has to be a huge factor in our own mental well-being, doesn't it? And emotional well-being, the things that we're exposed to from a young age.
100%. 100%. There's no getting away from that, and you hear wonderful stories about how people have changed their lives. And
well, you just told us
yours. Which is cool.
You hear all these wonderful stories, people change their lives, which I just spoke to you about for an hour and a half. You know?
But you do, and you see that, but then you also see people that don't get away from that. And then you see people that are moaning about their lives, but they ain't changed nothing. They ain't done nothing to change their lives, but they're moaning about that life. And you're like, and listen, I was a professional at that. So, when I say it, I'm not saying it to, belittle people and stuff like that. I'm saying it because I was really good at doing that. I guess I wasn't willing to change, or I didn't know how to change.
I think there's an element sometimes we're not willing. And there's also an element we don't know how.
Yeah. I think that's the thing.
And also, we're probably not aware that we're not taking responsibility. That's the big thing on social media now, which is great. You've got to take responsibility, own your kind of situation. Only you can get. And I think deep down, you probably know that.
Yeah.
But you don't want to know it, do you?
No.
Take mental health out of the equation, put it about any issue where it's like, guys, it's down to me and I kind of know it, but I don't want to know it. So I'm just going to blame everyone else for a while. Because I'm not ready to go, okay, maybe it's me. Maybe I need to do something about this.
Yeah.
So I agree. But past experience is huge.
Yep.
How many people are wandering around in their 35s, 40s, 50s, still behaving like a child when certain things happen, still getting triggered by the same past things, still reacting to things in a way that we can't quite understand.
Yeah.
Matt Gallant came on, well, you were there, High Performance Mind.
Yeah.
Talked that belting thing about stress.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, where's he going to go with stress, And he covered a lot of things. But actually, the thing he really, really pushed on a lot, wasn't it, was this, hey, stress is perspective, very often driven by past experience. Discussed this with Mark Ellis. And one of the best things you can do is clear those past experiences out of your system.
Yeah. I think so. I look at my life and I look at it and I think, well, some people say you may need to go and deal with that shit. But I'm very aware of what happened and what I went through and all that sort of shit. And I personally think I'm quite at peace of it. But interestingly, I'm been seeing a chiropractor who says I carry a lot of stress in my body, stored stress, which, you go down a lot of rabbit warren, couldn't you?
Where?
Within my body.
Yeah, but where in your body?
All over, apparently.
Just everywhere, Dave. Just everywhere.
But again, it's one of these things, you look at it, and that's not something. If you'd said that to me like 7-8 years ago, I'd have gone, fuck off, mate. What are you talking about? But now I see something in that. So I might have dealt with it that I can accept it.
From a psychological standpoint.
Yeah. But, okay, cool. And I don't carry it around with me no more.
Mentally,
but physically, You know, my body lets me know, man. You know, and I ain't no spring chicken anymore, but I probably do carry a lot of tension, stress in that in my
stress,
body.
don't we? You know, like
gunslinging. You know I mean?
But we carry stress, don't we? As in like uptight.
Yeah.
In the Western world, particularly, we're really uptight.
Yeah. Well, it's not a surprise.
Why is it not a surprise?
Because everything's busy. Everything's flat out. Everything's like got to be done now. You know, I just look at life and it's 100% all in. Even with like gurus and stuff, like, hey, you've got to go all in, and it's like, yeah, you've got to start, but everything's busy. You know, it's my daughter. She was lucky enough to go on a trip to Japan with a rugby team. She said it was amazing. She said everything was just so relaxed. The girls around their age were just having fun. They weren't on their phones. They weren't all this. Different culture, different ways.
So two key things there. If we're looking at past experience being a massive driver in mental well-being, not necessarily making psychological sense of it, but also on a physical, stored kind of fashion, actually letting go of that physically. Second thing we're looking at is the speed of life. 100% the life is fast and big.
Instant.
And it's dealing with that fast life. Isn't it?
Yes, it is.
One of the things I talked about actually this week, just in the coaching High Performance Mind, was, you know, are we rushing around because we're stressed, or are we stressed because we're rushing around? It's like, for anyone, that's not some weird chap just laugh. That's producer Mark. They're like, who's laughing?
Yeah, where is he? It's over there.
Somebody in my house. What's going on in my car? But it's. And I was thinking about this. One of the things when I was going through some coaching myself in that kind of topic was, hey, give yourself more time to do things. As in the transitions of your day and stuff like that. How often are we just rushing to get somewhere, and then we're trying to fit too much in? And the kind of weird thing about that is it takes slowing down to realize we've got more time than we have. But it demands a life. Sorry, we were talking about in the coffee shop. If you've got kids, for example, or not kids, whatever, but if you say you've got kids, you've got to get them places, you've got a job, you've got to look after your well-being, you've got to drink 9 litres of water, you've got to flip in meditate for 4 hours, you've got to do some self-care, you've got to see your friends, you've got to pay your bills, you've got to go on. It's like, okay, now it feels like a lot going on here.
Yeah.
And trying to juggle the plates, spin the plates, juggle the balls. Trying to keep them all up in the air if you're looking at balls.
Yeah. It's tough. Yeah.
And that creates an element of stress. And chronic stress fucking burns people to the ground.
Yes, it does.
That debilitating, dripping effect.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. And I think with lateness and stuff like that as well, a lot of time we get stressed out because we're late.
I don't know what you're on about.
But if you're late, that's generally when you start rushing, isn't it? Because you're like, I've got to get somewhere, I've got to do this. And then you start getting stressed because you're late. And you think, well, just fucking leave 5 minutes earlier, innit? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And sometimes life will kick in your ass like that. But, you know, interesting, you talk about stress. You know, I do a lot of good stuff. I do a lot of good stuff for myself. I know a lot of stuff. I practice a lot of stuff, but I can still get stressed because there's still areas in my life that are probably more stressful than I need to make them. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter what skills I have. If you've got that area of stress, you're going to feel stress.
I've shared this before, haven't I? Online a lot. No matter how long you sit in that ice bath every morning, if there's an area of your life that is an external stressor chronically you're unhappy with, that will break you down. Yeah. You don't fix everything by doing your morning routine. No. It should give you the ability and the capacity to go about and make the changes what is personal development? It's getting your shit together so you can go make the impact you need elsewhere. Yeah. It's not the answer. It's not the last step. It's the first step. It's like, wow, I'm feeling better. I can deal with these things in my life. Look at them differently. Yeah. And so I think a lot of it is we say mental health, yes, the onus is on us, but you can't solve everything by drinking more water, you know?
No, it's exactly that. And it's, like, I've just been away, went on holiday for a few days. I drank. I ate pretty shit. I tracked my sleep, you know. My sleep was horrendous because and I'm not saying that people shouldn't drink or eat shit food because obviously I'm not an athlete. Yeah, because I've just done it. But it's interesting. Imagine I was doing that every day. every day, the impact that would have. And, I think was it Jim Carrey? He said something along the lines of take better care of yourself and how to take care of your mental health. And a lot of people understand that. A lot of people are dismiss that. They're going, well, eating better and drinking better. And you say, well, no, it's going to fucking help though. Again, it's going to help.
It's this multifaceted thing.
Yeah.
There's going to be people saying, oh, God, but the biggest thing in my life is this issue. It's like, yeah, it probably is. I will say, get your capacity in line, deal with the stresses in your life. So change what you can.
Yeah.
Change your perspective of what you can't change.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And that involves, hey, work on me, work on my life. Oh, that can't change. Because there's people who are going through life going, hey, I can't change that scenario. I can't bring somebody back. I can't change that. I can't change what's happened to me in the past. But you can change your perspective.
Yeah.
To one, hopefully, that's more empowering, one that's more helpful.
Useful. Yeah.
Useful. Brilliant word. So yeah, you're bang on. If we treat ourselves like shit, we're going to feel like shit.
Yeah. And
sleep being one of them.
Huge, yeah.
Sleep has become this compressible part of human beings' lives. It's like, oh, I've got more to do, I'll compress my sleep.
Yeah.
People are trying to survive on the less sleep. But actually, it's like, no, if you could prioritize one thing, I will say this, forget your morning routine, get a solid nighttime routine, sleep well.
Yeah.
Sleeping well will actually transform most of your well-being.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, if someone was saying this to me 6 years ago, I'd have been, jog on, mate, go and hug a tree, tell me to meditate.
It's not sleep, it's this.
Yeah. So now, but doing it and practicing it, and sometimes I can get too into it, do you know what I mean? And then that kind of defeats the object of doing it. But all these little things, it's all the little things. It's like when I did the meditation course with Arjuna, the Ascension, I thought, if I can become a Jedi meditation monk, my life will be fixed. If I can do X, I'll be fixed. If I do Y, I'll be fixed. But it's not. It's all them small little things that it's small things that build into the big things. So it's like just a mixture of everything, like a little mix up, and just try things out, try them on for size.
If you look at most people being stressed, overwhelmed, energetically struggling, frazzled, you could say, well, let's swap a few things, couldn't you?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
If you're looking at yourself, all the stuff people know, well, maybe drink less stimulants and coffee and caffeine. If you're somebody who's constantly anxious and wired and stressed, drink some more water. We've just been discussing the hydration drink you're drinking now.
Oosh.
By Awesome Supplements, who are not sponsoring this, but they should. Awesome Hydrate, which is mine actually, just so everyone knows. But talking about hydration's crucial, right? To be well hydrated, you feel immediately better. Can you sleep a bit better? Can you get outside a bit more? These are all things people know, like the general stuff, but it's how do we, it's making them happen, isn't it?
Yeah. But again, I think it's, like I said, when I first started doing this, I was all in. I'm all in. I'm like, you got a point system I'm following. I'm like, I'm hitting this every day, week, which awesome starting off with, but quite stressful as well. It's quite, because I was like, fucking hell, this is like relentless. But I was all in with that. Now, I do my morning routine now. I change it around. But my morning routine, I do it every day, pretty much every day. But it's just, I say morning routine, it's just now my life.
Yeah,
it's just what I do. But interestingly, you said about evening routine. And it's true. So people always used to say win the morning, win the day. I agree with that.
Yeah.
You have a good morning, generally it's going to lead to a good day. But if you planning and prepping the night before to win in the morning, you got more chance of winning in the morning.
Yeah, just get to sleep.
Do you know what I mean?
Get to sleep effectively.
Go to sleep.
Calm your nervous system down.
I was saying about sleep last night. The room was red hot. I got the quilt over me. It's red hot. I'm waking up at like 4 o'clock in the morning thinking, fucking hell, it's red hot. Because that's not how I sleep. I sleep chilled,
There is an element to sort of, not wrap that element of it up, but there is an element where it's looking after ourselves, but everyone knows that.
Yeah. So why don't they do it?
So it's like, okay, you got to look after yourself. Yeah. Okay, so the big question is, why is mental health spiraling out of control? People aren't looking after themselves is one.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. But there's people who are looking after themselves still struggling. But it's like people aren't looking after themselves. That's got to be a factor. The second thing is, like you just discussed your life, you had a bit of you didn't have the optimal start to have a great level of mental health.
No, agreed.
Let's just not beat around the bush.
Yeah.
And so it's very much a case of I would have had a better start for a better mental health than you in my life.
Yeah.
Not perfect, far from it,
Yeah.
but certainly better. You know, and that's not to say, because you haven't let it define you.
No. I did.
You did. You blamed it.
Yeah,
Then
blamed it for years.
But then you went, I need to do something. Right, let's crack on.
Yeah.
Only I can do something about this. So it's you've got to own your situation a little bit. I know, take responsibility. We know that. You've got to do your base. Look after the system that you're in.
Yeah.
A huge amount of issues around anxiety and stress and all can be dissipated, not through being medicated.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with medication when it's appropriate.
Yeah.
But from actually going, no, actually, I just need to look after myself a bit better.
Yeah. If you're smashing 5 cans of Monster a day and you're anxious and worried and stressed.
And sleeping like a bag of shit, eating crap.
Come on now. Do you know what I
rushing
mean?
around, scrolling media. One of the top things people put on that post, why is mental health so out of control? One was pressure from social media. It's on there.
Yeah. Is it pressure from social media?
Let me just check on
Pressure from social media. I say pressure from early age, actually. This is how you got to lead your life. You got to grow and get married and
social media,
get a job, go to uni.
social media, cost of living,
Cost of living is a
generational
real
trauma.
thing.
Yeah, of course. The government, right?
Yeah.
COVID, social media. A lot of people just blame other people. A lot of the comments on here will be about their own personal experience.
Yeah.
And that's what is the problem. You know, so it's like, because that's their that's what their issue are. But if we move past looking after ourselves, there is environmental factors massively at play.
Without doubt.
And everyone will have different stresses.
Yeah.
Some people have got the money stresses. Some people have got the trauma, some past trauma. Some of us have got other issues. Some people are really unhappy in a relationship.
Yeah. They stay in that relationship.
Of course, but there's these things.
Yes.
And this is what I've been trying to get across for a while on social media and stuff. So your fucking habit's great. Great. Absolutely fantastic. Go do that. But then everyone's going to have a different issue, some common ones, stressing them out.
Yeah.
And it's how do I
deal with that?
do that? I think if you want to talk about mental health and what we should be doing, particularly with young people, they say, oh, we need to be doing this. We need to be teaching them to meditate. Now, I've meditated for 10 years, pretty much consistently daily, massive part of my life. But I don't think, oh yeah, let's teach young kids to meditate. I'm like, well, what does areas of life do these people struggle with? People struggle with money.
Yeah, they do.
People struggle with communication.
Knowing where they're going.
Yeah, people struggle with purpose and meaning.
Yes, they do.
People struggle living lives they don't want to live and pretending they do want to live them and just putting up with it. We struggle with certain aspects of our life. They're skills that need teaching. No one ever taught me how to handle money. No one ever taught me how to communicate my feelings to somebody or anything.
Yeah.
No one ever taught me how to set meaningful, purposeful visions for my life.
Oh, I hear you.
So you can sit there and go, maybe kids need to meditate. Maybe people need to journal. It's like, yeah, they probably do. Be beneficial, but fuck me, there's this. What about life? We teach skills here. What about the skills here, outside of us?
But I think
teach people to handle setbacks.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because people deal with shit differently. It's like, like I said, my mum died. I'm at ease with that. My sister's like fucking happened yesterday. So people deal with shit and they hold into that shit, and then that impacts and affects their life. And with the social media thing, I agree, it's massive. Social media, there is.
What about it though?
I think the comparison, so keeping up with the Joneses, you see all these influencers that they might come out of one sentence and it's shared 1 million times and they're just full of shit. That's no offense to influencers, but majority of them.
Angry Dave's back.
Just committed. Committed Dave, passionate Dave.
I love passionate Dave.
So I think influencers, again, because there's now so much awareness around mental health, I think a lot of people are told if you fix X, then the rest of your life's going to be great.
Do you think social media problem is too much information?
Too much information overload, without a doubt. It's too much trying to keep up with everyone. I think I'm only on Facebook and Instagram. I think Instagram's worse purely because it's fucking just scrolling like that. And I not only see it because I get caught. I am on social media, but I'm having a little break. But there's no like blackout or anything. I'm just fucking having a break. But I see it with my kids, and not even so much just like social media as in that, but like Snapchat, shit like that. It's the pressure. It's the constant pressure of being perfect, answering messages immediately, like fucking Snapchat. Constant.
So social media, there's two things are happening. Number one, you think it's the actual impact of being in constant communication, everything happened instantly.
Instantly.
And the second thing is a lot of comparison and the pressure to...
Comparison, yeah. And a lot of fucking opinionated people.
Like us right now.
Yeah, and I think everyone's, it's like everyone says that everyone's entitled to their opinion, and they are, but what you see is a lot of people arguing.
Well, actually, there's the post I made about mental health. There's two people arguing on there now.
But I find that insane. But then I used to do that. So I used to argue all the time on Facebook. My old account, you won't find nothing now. And we're talking my old account, 10 plus years. But you'll never see me arguing with people now because it's just not what I do. I don't need to fucking argue with people. But
why are we comparing on social media though? Is that social media's fault or the way we use it? That's the question I ask myself. It's like, I think one of the, if you want to go back to mental health, one of the most deep rooted issues in mental health is insecurity in who we are and a lack of enoughness, which causes us to look outside of ourselves and say, well, maybe I should be like them. Maybe I should be doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And we look and we find ourselves wanting. We're lacking compared to them. Does that happen if I am 100% secure in who I am and where I'm going in life? Do I then look at someone else and go, oh, I only find myself getting a bit like, oh, maybe I'm not doing well enough compared to them.
If you're not in a particularly good place.
If I'm not actually, feeling great about where I'm at, or not reminding myself where I'm at and what I'm doing and so on. It's an interesting thing when you say comparison. Everyone says it. I say it. Oh, the trouble is with social media, there's too much pressure. Well, nobody on social media is saying, Simon, what are you doing? You should be driving your Lamborghini by now. And you should be on the beach. Why aren't you on the beach on your Lamborghini? Simon! They're not saying that. They're just saying, here's where I'm at. Or maybe where I think I should be. Are they out there? Who knows? But it's me going, oh, maybe I should be there. It's me doing it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. But I think with social media, so listen, mental health, mental illness, mental health, wherever you want to call it, was way before social media. I grew up around it. So it's way before that. And again, it's them things that happen. I know, like, for instance, when my mum was alive, and a lot of her problems was when my dad left when I was really young. She never got over that. So that impacted things. So I think it is that, I think we're just hard on ourselves. And I think just social media now exposes that more because you see it more.
Because we're exposed to more people's lives.
You see it and you see these perfect lives that are very rarely perfect.
No.
And I think, but then I think social media is really good for certain things.
I think social media is a made-up world.
It's not
that isn't real.
No, it's not real.
I've shared this on it before.
Yeah.
And we know it's not real, but we get sucked into it and pretend it is.
Yeah. I can
honestly think that.
But there's also like people pay lots of money to make these things addictive as well.
Of course they want you on there.
Yeah, I know. Which is bizarre. We were saying earlier, like, I think one of the biggest influences now is messaging sites. They're fucking insane. Who comes up with these ideas? It's just madness that you would have, especially Snapchat, for instance, where messages disappear. Why the fuck would you do that? Do you know what I mean? But that adds more pressure.
If we talk about responsibility then, are we responsible for actually how we use it? And if someone says, oh, so much pressure on social media, then, okay, curate your feeds. Take everything off that doesn't make you feel better about yourself, that you don't enjoy looking at. Why do we then still keep going? It makes me feel terrible comparing myself. So I'm just going to keep comparing myself to these people. Like I always use example, if you're in your house And people kept knocking on that door. He was walking in. Oh, fucking hell, what are these people doing now? I don't want to deal with these people. I don't even like you. You're somebody I went to school with. Look at you. You have to tell me all about your fucking holiday. I don't care. Bugger off. I'd be like, but online we're like, oh yeah, oh, maybe I should go on holiday. Oh, look at them. She's ripped. Oh, look at him. He's a billionaire. Oh, God, look at them with their kids. They're the perfect parents. They're always doing the fun kid stuff. Oh, I'm just shouting at my kid, told him pack it in. I'm terrible. Like, just don't have them on there.
Yeah.
Don't let them in your space. Your online space is a space.
It is, yeah.
So I'm writing on, but I'm sat in this place with social media. It's like, yes, social media, addictive. Yes, I get the detriment to not the content, but the screens, the postures, the late at night, the fact it takes people away from real interactions. I get all that.
Yeah.
What I don't get is it's like, oh, it's the content on there. Well, you're curating that content for the most part. So fucking remove it.
But I think that's where people struggle.
Because we're addicted to that possibly.
Yeah, because they're addicted to that. But also a lot of people they know something's wrong, but they don't have that understanding, or they don't have the skills, or they don't have the will or the want or the desire to do that, to get away from it. So then it's easy to blame that.
Possibly. But it's a bit like me saying, God, the internet, it's terrible content.
Yeah.
The internet's awful for you. No one says that.
No.
Why is it awful for you? Yeah. Well, it's just full of porn.
Yeah.
Is it? Well, mine is. It's like, social media. Oh, it's full of this. Well, get rid of it then.
Yeah.
Stop. If I said to you the internet's terrible, you'd be like, yeah, it's not terrible. It's do loads of cool stuff on the internet.
I think it is easy to blame social media. So for me personally, if I didn't do what I do, Limitless, I probably wouldn't be on social media. But that's just me. But I think it is a thing now. I think it will be a thing. I think it's going to carry on. But again, I think it's that information overload.
I honestly think one of the best things someone could do for their mental health is create boundaries around their online environments.
Say no.
Yeah. But create boundaries around their online environments, curate their online environments as heavily as you would curate your offline ones.
Yeah, but do they do that?
I'm not saying I don't know if they do or don't, but I know that's made a big difference to me.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll give you a prime example. People say, who do you follow in your industry? Not hardly anyone. 2-3 people maybe. Why? Well, why do I want 5,000 similar but slightly different opinions on my feed that confuse my own ideas about my own opinions?
Yeah.
If I want to go learn from someone, I'll do it on my own back in a learning structured environment. I won't scroll Facebook saying I'm learning. Instagram, I learn so much on Instagram. That's not learning. That's throwaway information. That's adding to most people's overwhelm, because overwhelm is just demand outweighs capacity. So if every day I'm overwhelmed, flooding my brain with a million different things I can do, and then going, I'm not doing any of it. It's like, you've got too many options.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people get stuff from, so if they're following someone big and popular and well known and that, and they're commenting, they feel like they're part of that or doing something around it. But the problem being, I think, with a lot of these influencers, they talk, but there's no real thing for them to go to where they can start actually learning something. That's
because most influencers couldn't teach themselves out of a wet paper bag.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The big difference between going, here's my life, to, I'm going to help you do that.
Yeah.
That's a completely different skill set whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I could, when I was 27, 28, when I was like shredded beyond belief, I wasn't as good at getting people into that shape as I was at being in that shape myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it, but there's people out there definitely who had the skill sets go, no, I can teach you, I can get you in this shape.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't, just because I got myself in that shape doesn't mean I could articulate it effectively to somebody else.
Yeah. But I think that's where a lot of the problems is. And I think, so for me, when I first started out, I'd listen to all the motivational stuff, all the positive energy, all that sort of stuff.
Do you ever feel under pressure on it?
Yeah. and I think with like motivation and stuff like that, it can be helpful, but it's only going to take you so far. And the biggest thing, I guess the biggest thing around mental health, and we said it earlier, is the three things I did is accountability, responsibility, and stop blaming the world. And it sounds like really like, oh, really, mate? But it had a massive impact.
Well,
and that's scary.
I need you to take the next steps. And so if we're looking at social media just quickly as like, hey, maybe we've got more control there than we like to.
Which we have.
We talk about it like it's this all
consuming
powerful
devil
thing that's like we've got no say in. But
Yeah.
actually you've got a lot of say in how you use social media and what you see and what you don't.
Yeah.
Haven't you?
Yeah.
So there's that. There's looking after ourselves.
Yeah.
Getting all that stuff that we know. Let's skip by that. It's then maybe we need the skills to deal with the external stresses in our life.
Yeah.
Stress will be the biggest factor I see in driving poor mental health.
Yep.
So what are the biggest stresses in my life? How can I deal with them?
Yeah.
Perspective, etc. But I'm a big fan. I'm just going to get this in here because I feel like it's important.
Go on, sorry.
You've heard me talk about this.
Okay.
I don't think more habits are the answer.
Mm.
And I think that's what's rammed down people's throats now.
Yeah.
Just do your morning routine, do your nighttime routine. Yeah, more habits, just to pick up some more habits. All cold therapy, all the stuff I love, all the stuff I do. The thing that has made the biggest difference in my life to my own mental well-being is at certain points, I dealt with certain issues and learnt the things that I needed to learn to deal with those issues in a focused manner.
Yeah.
So let's look at your journey. You said, I was all over the shop. And you had some counselling, you talked it out, you took responsibility. You got your morning routine in, you started looking after yourself. But then you're like, I need to deal with these intrusive thoughts. You've gone and learned how to meditate possibly and really delved into that. And you've attacked that intrusive thought kind of area of your life.
Yeah.
I've done the same with loads of different things, And that is what I think is the future of mental health. Is like, get your system in line, look after it. But then you're probably going to have to go and work on certain areas of your life in like an individual container for a while.
Yeah.
And you can deal with that and then you can move on. And that's what everyone does. If you look at anyone who's transformed their life, they've gone, I had to learn how to deal with money and I had to figure that out and get around my issues with that. I did that. But also I really struggled to communicate in relationships. So I kind of worked on that. And, I had to let go of some shit from my past. So I worked on that. I had to kind of figure out who I was and figure out where I'm going. And so I worked on that for a while. It's these areas of specific focus. Whereas all you see online is like just 5,000 different habits you've got to do. Make sure you're, set some goals and hit them and life will figure out. And that is part of it.
Yeah.
But it's how do I take these specific upgrades? That's what I call them, It's like, what area needs upgrading right now?
Yeah.
I think the one thing anyone can do is figure out what the hell they want out of life.
You got to have an idea. You got to.
I think that helps with dealing with social media. When you can say, it's like, well, should I do that? Should I do that? When you know what you're about and what you want and what you value, you probably aren't worried about what other people want and do and value, are you?
I think that's the thing. I think it's having good basics. Like you say, tackling one area at a time rather than taking on the whole fucking world immediately. And that's what a lot of people do. And that's why they get overwhelmed. And you got to have an idea. You might not have the complete idea, but you got to have an idea of what you want.
I'll give you a specific example. Somebody rolled in a client, High Performance Mind, burnt out for a long time.
Yeah.
And work-related burnout, lots of different things. So we got chatting and I said, I think there's two real stresses in your life. I want to see what they are. This and this. You've been doing a lot of basic capacity stuff. Great. You need to take those two things on. And while you're doing that, we need to work on some better recovery, stacking, supplementation, yada, yada. But we need to work on these eventually. That person went and took action on those two stresses after she realized, God, that actually you're right. And I got a message, it was yesterday saying, I have experienced what it's not like to be burnt. I'm still, not not burnt out, but I have felt so much better because they made a decision that needed making that would impact their life. It took a bit of courage. They made another decision around their job and got a different job in the space of a month.
Yeah.
That alongside the capacity stuff, and all of a sudden there's this massive turn. The point I'm trying to make is if you don't deal with those two stresses, it doesn't matter what you do. There's still these chronic things that are just going to keep eating away at you stress-wise. And so it's going and dealing with that. And that's where these specific upgrades need to come in.
And I think it's knowing that as well. Because I remember you said it to me a while back, about no matter what you do, Dave, if you've got continuous stressor in your life, you're going to be stressed, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and it's being aware of that because you're thinking, well, I'm doing all this work and I shouldn't be stressed, but I'm still stressed out of my skull. And then you realise yeah, because that situation is still stressful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You've got to close the loop on it.
Yeah.
You've either got to check, you got to change what you can, and if you can't change it, you've got to change the way you look at it.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. But again, until you know that, you don't know.
Yeah, because you're convinced on social media that it's all about, like I said, just go do a sea dip in the morning, Dave. Your problems are solved. Now everyone's listening. I like sea dips. I'm sure you do. Go crack on that. I think that's a great thing to do. Yeah. Go do it.
But it's not.
But don't think when you walk out that sea that thing that's still hasn't changed in the last 10 years is not going to stress you out. Yeah. It will.
Yeah, I agreed.
And then you'll have to go do longer in there before you know you're flipping in there all day.
Yeah.
So it's these specific upgrades are so crucial. Yeah. Capacity upgrades. Social media, I think, is how we use them.
Yeah.
But certainly mental health is impacted by the speed of our life.
Speed. Everything's fast.
Huge.
Everything's fast. And now, immediate. Everywhere you look, it's just bang, 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 bang. You don't have to wait for nothing. So people don't want to wait for nothing.
Yeah, I'm pissed off if my Amazon package ain't coming tomorrow.
Yeah, what's going on? Don't get started on parcels, mate, especially next day delivery.
So where is this? You know, I ordered it last night at 11 o'clock. Why is it not here today? You said next day delivery. Yeah. Where is it? I need my sleep tea bags.
See, when my wife hears this, she'll laugh because she knows how emotional I get with next day deliveries when they don't turn up. It's still a thing for me, man.
Is that a trigger?
Oh, it's a trigger.
We better relate that back to some childhood trauma.
Yeah, man, it's a trigger. I'm better with it now, but it's definitely a trigger. Next day, let's have it next day, please.
Yeah, if you say next day, I'm on Prime. I don't buy anything that ain't on Prime.
Do you know what I mean, man?
To be honest, I'm like, no, I'm going to have to get a different brand. Why not? Because it's going to turn up on Friday. It's Tuesday. Fuck it. I want it Wednesday, next day.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or try and get to 10 p.m. tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still a thing, you know. Tonight.
Poor old Amazon drivers.
Oh, I've done that, mate.
No wonder they're walking up my drive and wanging it like some flipping Paperboy. Remember the old game Paperboy? Just throwing it on me drive. Boom.
And you've got 150, 200 drops to do, mate. You're cruising.
But I think we could talk about mental health, and we do every week really on here. But I want to talk to you about it from your own experience. And I want, from what I can see, making peace with letting go of some shit in your past has made the biggest difference. But you had to be in a position to do that.
Can I add one thing?
No. It's my fucking show, Dave. I do the adding right there.
Let me add one thing.
Go on, then.
Just, again, a big impact is doing something you hate every single fucking day. You got to start changing that mind. That's just a big point.
Go on. Give me an example.
Just doing like shit job, speaking to yourself shit. You need to start addressing things like that. Doing stuff that you have done, but you don't really need to do. I always thought I had to do a shit job. You do have to work and shit, but I was doing shit jobs and it drained the fucking soul out of me. You know, and some people do that their whole lives because they feel they have to do that. Versus actually changing that, how much more freedom would that give you in your actual mind?
I don't think we realise sometimes. It's that old saying, there's a difference between can and won't.
Yeah.
People say, well, I can't do that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, maybe you could.
Give it a go.
Yeah. You know, like maybe you could.
It's scary.
Yeah.
But give it a go. I just think that's a real thing. People keep doing the same shit, expecting a different outcome.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come.
No, you're bang on. I think, again, it's crafting what you're about, and that's going to change through life. What's important to you, what you value, what you want out of life, what you want out of today. People say, I don't know what I want out of life. It's like, well, what do you want out of this week?
Yeah. Just today, tomorrow.
What do you want out of today?
Yeah, man.
Just start there. What will be a good day? And if you can inch your way closer to it over the course of 6 months, it'll make a massive difference. I also think, so if we're looking at social media, I think it's how you use it sometimes.
Yeah, agreed.
Actually, the more I think about it, we have, you listen to people who don't like it, it is very much this big bad thing that's controlling us. You realise, like, hey, you're picking the phone up.
Yeah. Yeah, I still think there's a massive amount of bullshit on there, though.
There is, but how do you curate that?
But like you just said, that is on you.
Yeah.
It's on us. It's easy. I say it's easy. Just log out. You know, if it's affecting that much, just log
just
out.
unfollow everyone.
Yeah.
Every time you see an ad you don't like, stop seeing ad. Stop seeing ads like this. Let's like start curating the feed.
But I think people feed off that though. I think unknowingly people, I can't say they like feeling stressed and pissed off and stressed out, but it's almost like they do feed off it.
And also, it's like what you just said. Trouble is, mate, there's a lot of content on there that's fucking stressing people out, and you know, it's bullshit. And we all know that.
Yeah.
But there we are, still getting
still
getting stressed by it. I'm really stressed by this made up bullshit on my feed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Really upsetting me. I thought you said it was bullshit. It is, but I still kind of believe it.
See, I'm quite good at it now. I'm quite good at avoiding shit on there that I don't want to see, and offline as well. So like, you know, I'm not a particular fan of news and shit like that, you know, so I don't watch it. That has had a huge impact in my life by stopping watching that shit, because I don't need to worry about what's happening the other side of the fucking world. I just need to worry about me and my family and that today.
Yeah, and some people would say that's selfish, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
all the time. Wow, that's selfish.
But they can crack on.
It's like,
yeah,
what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, ultimately we're here to live our lives, aren't we? You know, my kids would come home and go, Dad, guess what's happening? Oh, it's not happening today, girls. Don't worry about it. Yeah, but what? Listen, don't worry about it. If we need to know, we're going to find out.
Yeah, well, I would say, what happened in your life today?
Do you know what I mean? It's just, honestly, mate.
Is it Charles Bukowski? Did I read that out last time on here? Did I read that quote out where he was like, let me have a look. I want to read something real quick.
What's the quote?
Just quickly. He's got a quote, and I think it really sums up a lot. I probably won't find it now. Right. If I don't find it, apologies, but let's have a look at images. It's bound to be on there, isn't it? It's something along the lines of people getting stressed out about things in their life, but I can't find it, Mark.
Come on, man.
I got to find it as well. Maybe I've saw it on Instagram. But if you're listening in, don't leave me now. Don't leave me here.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, I'm just looking at him going, what's he doing?
What's he doing? But I'm going on to my saved posts, which usually is places in the south of France to go on holiday.
Why don't you Siri it?
Well, no, because I can't remember the quote. He's got so many. And I just can't see it now because I've saved so many things. Oh, life. People are strange.
People are strange.
They are constantly angered by trivial things. But on a major matter, like totally wasting their lives, they hardly seem to notice.
Isn't that true? That's insane. It's true.
It is true, though. You see social media, it's people angered about things.
Yeah.
It's like just not really paying attention to the fact they're wasting their fucking own life.
Yeah. But that's a true story, isn't it? 100%.
That just goes on by without a whimper.
Yeah, it's mad,
But
isn't
we've
it?
all done that, haven't we?
Yeah. No, it is.
And actually, I think the more you are wasting your life in your own terms, by the way, not some random term of what a successful life should be, the more you are wasting it, the more angry you become about life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, there's a nice correlation between that. You end up taking your anger out on the trivial things.
Yeah, because you're angry.
Yeah, I know, because it's like, I'm not really doing what I want to do, so let's go and attack everything about everything.
Yeah. But there are them people that will attack everything as well.
What would you be doing differently if there wasn't any social media?
What would I be doing? I'd probably just do some like cool walks around where I live, man. Just get out there, chat. I chat to people anyway.
Yeah, well, I suppose the point I'm trying to make is if it's such a bad thing, get rid of it. And just like, well...
Yeah, but people wouldn't do, people can't do that now. They wouldn't be able to do it.
What are you laughing at, Mark? If you find another quote by any chance?
Yeah, I've found one for you. It's I've not seen this one before. I don't like jail. They've got the wrong kind of bars in there.
Is that him? Yeah, brilliant.
There you go, see? Hey? What would I do? I don't think people can survive without social media now.
Bloody hell, that's a claim, isn't it?
I think so. I think a lot of people, sorry, I shouldn't say everybody, because I quite happily leave social media and never look at it again.
Yeah.
If I didn't need it. But I do need it. It serves a purpose for me.
Yeah.
And it only becomes a hindrance to me if I start letting it. And that's where we have control.
So we've been talking about mental health here, and we've gone heavily down social media.
Yeah.
As always when I talk about this topic.
Yeah.
But for the first time, I'm probably thinking, hey, stop acting like it's this thing that controls your life.
Because you control it.
You're playing it.
Yeah.
You're playing the game. We're all playing the game.
But
we have
that's
choice
life.
in how we play it. And we're so consumed by it, we forgot we have a choice about how we use it.
Yeah.
We forgot that we feel so much pressure by all these people on here, but we're allowing them in our social media feed.
Yeah.
If you went to a bar every Friday and it was full of everyone you hated, I reckon you'd stop going.
You stop going to the bar, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd probably be like, fucking shit all that.
But it's just the thing, the amount of times I've gone...
I don't like anyone in there. It pisses me off. What are you doing? I go every night now. Why? Just to be angered.
But that's it, isn't it? I go on, when I've been on social media, the amount of times I go on and I go, fucking full of shit, mate. Shut up, mate. Why are they there?
Because
I'm allowing them. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to go on there and go, you're full of shit, mate, because I don't need to see it.
Yeah.
Do you know, but it's true though, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's getting a good handle on stuff like that. It's what area of my life needs the most dramatic improvement, and then it's getting on it. Always start with yourself, the system, move, hydrate, look out, get to sleep, that kind of thing. Try and build that in. Look at the area that needs the most transformation and say, I'm going to work on that.
Yeah.
And I always say, what skills do you need in that area?
Yeah.
That's the key. Work on yourself. What area needs transforming? What skills am I lacking? Not tools.
Skills.
And I love the word tool.
Tool.
Mark's favorite band, I believe. But
Oosh.
I think people have all the tools.
Just don't know how to use them.
Yes.
Yet.
Yeah, and that is skills. If I was going to... My dad has got a garage full of tools. Plumber. I'm sure I could go in there and go, right, and he's fixed my tap. Look at all these tools. But what tool do I use? How do I use it? When do I use it? What's the point of using it? How does it work? Like, that's skill.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a garage full of tools. So you imagine most of us are walking around with our mental health garage full of tools.
Yeah.
And our social media account full of tools. Different type.
Yeah, different types of tools.
Full of tools, and we're going, whoops. I think I'll use that one. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, so many. I'll shut the garage door.
Yeah. It's true, isn't it?
We don't have the ability to use them.
No.
It's the correct tool, knowing how to use it at the correct time.
Yeah.
So 90% of the information people have is fucking irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's what 10% is going to make the biggest impact to a different area of my life.
Yeah.
That's where it's got to go.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Oosh. What's that?
Don't know. There was a noise.
There's a buzz. Was that like the time?
Do you know what that was? That was the government going, they figured us out. Quickly get in there. What's happened? There's this bloke talking about too many tools out there.
Yeah. Do him.
Britain's Got Talent.
Someone buzzed me off. Oh, mate. Fucking, I like my garage full of
Show you
tools.
noise.
Makes me feel clever.
Tool.
But we feel, we confuse informed with skilled.
It is interesting, isn't it?
Don't we?
When you look at it, yeah. The thing is, I think all of it as well, it's like, it's having all of that, but it's knowing, it's actually wanting to change. Because some people are quite happy being fucking miserable.
And moaning. I don't pay any attention to that though,
Yeah,
Dave.
do you know what I mean?
Anyone I think, actually, you're not quite ready to engage a proper conversation on change.
It's just like, cool.
I'm not going to try and make you have a proper conversation. It's like, oh, you're blaming everyone else.
It's got to be the want, hasn't there?
I'm not going to be like, oh, you're a bad person. You're not, because we all blame everyone and everything on times. So, okay, you're in that position. You're not quite ready to have a conversation about change. We're having a different conversation.
Yeah.
You're trying to get that person to say, hey, come on, you've got a bit more.
And it's just learning
potential
skills, isn't it?
So I probably overthink things. People would confuse, not overthink, but I like to think about things effectively, I think. I think. So people say, oh, tools, skills, what's the difference? That's the difference to me. I've been thinking about that analogy for a long time.
It's true.
There's tools everywhere, but do you know how to use them, when to use them, what one to use? Are you using this tools appropriate to the job? Are you over here building a fucking swing in your garden when your flipping roof's leaking? I don't know.
It's a good analogy, by the way. I like it.
You're like, fix the roof.
Yeah.
That's your next step. Oh, I'm just building some cool shit over here. So that's not relevant.
It's like the craftsman, isn't it? You have the tools, but can you
use them?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where
That's
I think we're at. They're like, oh, we need to get tools out to people. No, you need to upskill people.
Yeah.
And it's not just self skills. It's it's personal skills, it's communication skills, it's financial skills, it's
all of it.
Lots of skills. Yeah. It's like running calendar skills.
Yeah.
These are skills. It's like, how do I have these? So that's what I said. Get your capacity in order. There's some good value at the end of this episode here. Some good stuff. Get your capacity in order. What area needs the biggest transformation? And then what skills do I need? What skills am I lacking? If I look at the issues I've had in relationships on time, I've been an ineffective communicator.
Communication is key.
Yeah.
Key.
A big presumer. One of the issues I see a lot with people and is just running away from any kind of confrontation. I don't mean like physical confrontation, but we feel a bit of resistance in something, we run away.
Yeah.
We make excuses, like we justify that running away.
Yeah.
So there's loads of different skills, but I think that's where I'd go. Would you add anything, Big D? Because we're going to do half hour, been an hour, and
yeah, man,
I don't have the skill to keep a fucking 30-minute conversation right now, to be quite frank. It's like,
it's that taking all of that knowledge and all that, but you got to start doing it. You have to start doing something. And I think that's the big thing, because you can have all the knowledge, all the point in the right direction and stuff like that, and talk about all the stuff you just talked about, but you got to start practicing that. And give yourself a bit of time, bit of patience.
Is it Jim Rohn? You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Yeah. Starting is the hardest bit, actually. It's often the easiest bit, but it's the hardest bit. It's just a bit of a paradox, but it's easy when you get the start's quite nice, but to get started, I suppose. Starting's nice and easy. Getting started's quite hard.
Yeah, I always said.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, like a pre-start, yeah.
I said I've always said that starting is easy and simple, but it's not. That can be the toughest thing, is starting, because I remember it. But once I started, hello.
Is it Robin says it's the decision that's the hardest part?
Maybe, yeah.
Just and then that boils back to I think you mentioned it about Ben, and I'd mentioned it, like the fuck it moment. Like, I've had enough of this.
Yeah, in the previous episode,
and the decision is born out of that. It's like, I must do something, and I don't know what it is. I think that's where they find people like you two. Once that decision's been made and they become, I used to describe it as people are looking actively, and some people are looking passively. They know something's wrong. They've already had the fuck it moment of the decision, but they're either waiting for you guys to trip across their feed, or they're actually going to look for you.
Yeah, that's bang on.
Yeah, it's quite true.
Really true. Mark's doing this, which either means he's lassoing something, or he's saying,
wrap it up.
Fucking lock it up.
Oh yeah.
58 minutes.
Why?
But you know what?
Fuck it.
Dave, fuck it.
It's
right, been a pleasure. Well, next week, folks, I'm going to tell you what we're talking about. I'll give you a little teaser, because we're going to record it straight after this, which is we're talking about being a man. Being a man. And I think that's going to be a great listen, by the way, for anyone who is not a man as well, because some of the greatest insights I've ever had in my life, we're going to be wrapping this up, is actually listening to people talk about the struggles of being a female.
Yeah, man.
You're like, why? That has really opened my eyes to that.
Females deal with a lot more.
And if we all understand the opposite sex a bit better, I think that's always beneficial.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Right,
yeah,
Dave, I'm out of here. It's been an absolute blast. You haven't hydrated effectively. You've left your watermelon awesome hydration stuff. You better get that in you. Until then, folks, see you next week. Thanks you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.